right, here we go. Week 3 already. Yeah, we're doing some work today. All right, Kiowa Marathon Week 3 in the books. Went super well. I actually felt really good this week. There were a lot of really challenging runs. The heat started to ramp back up again, so it did get pretty hot a few of the days. But it was also a deload week, which I was super thankful for. My left knee has been kind of starting to be a little weird. I was worried. I was having this kind of like interesting pain on the inside of my knee, kind of like not on the interior of the knee, but the inner side of my knee. So it I could feel it sort of stretched, went through the knee down to kind of the, what do they call that? Like the tibial epicondyle, if I remember right. Basically that knob on the inside of the lower portion of your knee. You can kind of feel if you bend your knee, it's just down there. So it was kind of like a burning pain around there and a little bit of weakness. When my runs would first start, I would get kind of like where I couldn't rely on my knee to not kind of like buckle. So I had some instability. So that was the first like run. So I think that was Monday's run. I was just like, oh, what is going on here? Day 1, so it's Monday. It's about 4:25, so just got home from work not too long ago. Drank some of my carb drink. Try to get loaded up since I usually eat lunch around like 10 or 11. So coming home, getting off at 2, starting to run at like 4 or 5. It's a pretty much getting into like fasting point there. So yeah, have my carb drink on the ride home. It's about 30 minutes to get home. Kind of get, immediately like change, start stretching, and get ready to go. Today is it's a deload week, but today is a working day. So I'll have, a warm up, and then I think I have 4 sets of like a quarter mile at a 9-minute pace, then a quarter mile at, it's probably a bit slower. I forget exactly. I think it's like a 9. Okay, never mind. It's harder than I thought. So it's a quarter mile warm up, then 4 reps of 3/4 of a mile warm up, then 4 sets of quarter mile at an 8-minute, then a quarter mile at a 9-minute 5. So I guess a 9-minute 5 is like my resting set. So I do that 4 times. Then I get a 90-second walking rest, and then a 0.5 mile cool down. Oh, that was not fun. My knee is really not happy with my behavior. It's not stoked on my running, but it loosens up eventually. But yeah, the heat really kicked my ass. And then even during the warm up, it took a while for like my gait to go back to normal. I guess it's probably just, I don't know, that knee pain is killing me. But pretty much I had been doing the most I can to kind of rehab it. So I think it was like hopefully, fingers crossed, it was an early wake-up call to just be like, hey, you need to really step up your flexibility, your stretching game. So now I've been stretching like pretty much every day before, so just every day, period. Then also before and after runs, which has been super helpful. I just do keep a lot of tension in my legs. I know I have tight hips. I have tight quads. It's probably mostly of a function of on a normal day at work, I'm sat down the entire day, and then I come home, and then I sit down some more, unless I'm running, but that's only for like an hour, 2, depending on where we're at in the week for the training. So yeah, not great. But so I've been super focused on stretching out my quads, stretching out my hip flexors, trying to get them as loose as possible. Also doing like those lateral lunges to kind of stretch across the inside of my leg. And I have noticed that if I kind of position myself a certain way and kind of roll to the inside of my foot, so it's kind of like on the edge of the ball of my foot rather than the flat of the ball of my foot, like my foot flat on the floor, it's more like that on the floor, my leg coming out this way. I can get it to kind of feel a stretch a little bit more through my knee. So that's been good. And I've noticed no more instability, still a little like aware of my knee. And then if I just like tap on my knee, like in that spot, it hurts. But if I press on it, it doesn't hurt. Super weird. Don't know what that's about. Just gonna go with it. Keep flexibility up, keep the rest up, and resting up. And hopefully it'll just be like a transient minor warning rather than an actual problem. But yeah, again, like I said, this week was a deload week. So you'll see some of the clips from earlier, of course, but so Monday was rolling 400s, which wasn't too bad. It was only a little bit over 3 miles. Wednesday was a drop set, about a little under 4.5 miles. Thursday was a 4-mile easy run. And then today, my long run day, was actually only 5 miles. And the knee felt great through the long run, like not even a hint of anything. So I'm just going to keep up with that, with the stretching. If I do feel a little tightness in my knee, I'll take like an ibuprofen. And then most nights I ice my knee for 10-15 minutes, kind of while like drinking a protein shake a little while before going to bed. And that seems to have been working out pretty well, so I'm happy with that. Like I said, it's drastically better than it was, even with running on it. Being a deload week, also very convenient timing. This upcoming week is not going to be that way, so we'll see if it continues to improve or if the surge in mileage irritates it. Compared to the previous week, it's only a little jump from like an actual normal mileage week. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, so today's run was great, super hot. Not super hot, super humid. So that continues to be the challenge. Got out kind of early. I was probably at the park where I like start my run at by like 7:30, I think. Which again is not as early as I would like. Sun comes up currently at like 6:45, so I should probably get out there before at sunrise at the worst. Probably before when it's like really long runs. But yeah, I just couldn't get to sleep early, as early as I would like last night, so I just didn't really lock in quite as well I was hoping. So it was kind of slow to rise this morning. Also pivoted a little bit with macro factor. I have had it set to maintain, switched it over to just kind of experimenting with it. You can choose to like adjust the plan that you have, or you can also go in and start a new plan and it'll switch you over to that. So I kind of went in and started to build out a new plan, and before you actually set it, it gives you the opportunity to cancel. So I was like, well, let me just go through it and see what we're talking about time-wise and stuff like that. So like right now, I'm floating around like between 171 and 174, depending really mostly on water weight and how much is hanging out in my digestive system when I weigh myself in the morning. But floating around there, I think a healthy weight for me to like reasonably get, I could probably get lower. I have gotten much lower in the past, but I do want to carry more weight, muscle mass on me rather, just in general. So I'm gonna try to cut down to 160. So it's between 11 and 14 pounds of cut. So it has me set to cut about 0.9 pounds per week. So again, that should take me probably like 3 months. So with it being middle of August, it has me predicted to finish up with my cut November like 15th, I think it said. And the marathon, the Kiowa Marathon, is December 13th. So I'll basically have more or less a month of like non-restricted dieting. And it's really not even that restricted. Like I think my calories are like 2,100, 2,200 calories per day. And even with like where I had it set before and I was trying to hit, I think it had me at like 2,700 calories, if I remember right. I was like struggling to hit that. There were some days where I ate plenty and felt well, and I was like 1,800 calories or 2,200 calories. The days where I hit like the 2,600 calories, it was just days where, you know, I may have had like a particularly carb heavy meal. Like we had like spaghetti one night and I just ate like a load of pasta with like meat sauce. And like, yeah, if you eat like 150 grams of pasta, there's gonna be a lot of calories. There's a lot of carbs. So I could hit it on days like that, but most days, like at lunch, I'm eating about 100, I don't know exactly, 100 odd grams of rice, about like 150 grams of chicken, and then like 4 grams of broccoli, and 3 tablespoons of like barbecue sauce, like some of that Kinder's barbecue sauce. I have like 3 different varieties. So that meal on its own is like 600-ish calories. So, and 3 square meals. So I'm just like, man, how am I can't hit this 2,600. Like, I can't eat enough food. Even with like taking protein shakes, 3 meals that are at like 600 calories a piece, I'm still like just at 2,000 calories. So we'll see how the plan adjusts and stuff. Like, it'll be interesting, but hopefully get down. I think, you know, being at 160s would be a pretty good weight for the marathon. You know, a little bit lighter will be a little helpful. It can't hurt, you know, a little less body weight to move around. And then I should be able to carry like a good amount of muscle mass as well. Like, if I'm not carrying much muscle mass in the past, I've dieted down and got really light. And, you know, getting my water weight down really low, like after like a sauna session. I think I weighed myself one time and I was at like 144 pounds. So I can get like really lean and really light. So I think 160 is probably a good healthy weight for me to have like low body fat percentage, lower, like a healthy body fat percentage, and like a decent amount of muscle based on like my frame. I don't have a very big broad frame. I'm kind of like more lanky-ish. So and then I carry all my weight in my abdomen. So we'll see how that goes. Just ran out this morning, so perfect timing. I guess that's why we do subscriptions, right? So I got my strong reds, strong greens, strong omega, strong multi. Also came in today, strong joints. So I'm doing everything I can with my diet to get it as clean and good as possible. But this stuff will hopefully fill in any gaps. I use Macro Factor as like my diet tracking. So pretty much everything is looking good. One thing I've identified I have to figure out a way to kind of boost up a little bit is calcium. I'm not hitting my micronutrient for calcium, but macros are doing pretty well. This takes out a lot of stuff But as you can see, it only has 25% of your daily calcium, which is fine. So I have to, make sure I make more of a point to get that dietary. And then strong omega, because it actually has a ton of EPA, DHA, and omega-3s, while a lot of omegas that you'll buy in like the grocery store or whatever, they might have a huge milligram count per gel, but when you actually look at it, there's almost barely any EPA and DHA in it. It's all just filler. So it's like, what's even the point of that? Seems like a great deal when you can buy like 300 capsules of 1,800 milligrams per serving of fish oil for like $25 at Costco. Turns out there's like no fish oil in it. And then strong joints because, well, I'm gonna be 39 in a couple months. So yeah, whatever help I can get. Stretching and icing my knee. So hopefully everything here will help me out, make me a little more injury resistant, give my body what it needs to recover. We'll see how that goes, but yeah, thanks for swinging by and following along with me, my little journey here. And then here's to week 4 on Monday. Thanks for stopping by.